The coronavirus pandemic is going to hit a lot of teams in a negative way, and it could have a huge negative impact on the NBA as a whole. One NBA team I fear will be hit the hardest by it all is the Houston Rockets, and it could negatively impact their short-term and long-term future and success. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at the Houston Rockets' current situation and the ugly truth about them. If you're new here and enjoy the video, please be sure to subscribe for more NBA content like this. I'm trying to hit 9,000 subscribers before June. It's going to be tough, but I know we can get there, so all support is greatly appreciated. It really does go a long way. Anyway, with that all being said, let's talk about the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets had a relatively successful season this year. Though it may not seem like that on a surface level, after all, they did finish as the 6th seed in the West with a record of 40-24. The Rockets were pretty consistently a top 3 or 4 team in the West for most of this season. They only fell to 6th due to a 5-10 game slump they were in just before the season was suspended. But in most people's eyes, this was an underrated contender that could go on a pretty deep playoff run if things went in their favor. However, with the season potentially being cancelled, it leaves Houston in a pretty bad place. One thing that the coronavirus has done to the NBA is dramatically reduce its earnings for the year. This is terrible for teams, as this means the salary cap is almost certainly going to drop quite dramatically, meaning less money is there to be spent on free agents in the upcoming summer, and overall, less monetary space for their team's players to fit into. So, why does this affect the Rockets? Well, the Rockets currently have $130 million of their salary taken up, and in the NBA, as of right now, you have to pay the luxury tax if your team's salary is over $132 million, so the Rockets just make the cut. However, with the salary cap destined to fall due to the pandemic, it means the Rockets will likely go over the luxury tax. This normally wouldn't be such a huge issue for other teams, but it actually majorly affects the Rockets a lot. The Rockets owner, Tillman Fertitta, has suffered a lot due to the pandemic and has had to lay off the majority of his employees from his companies, as well as taking on a lot of debt. This likely means he'll have to sell the team if he can't keep the Rockets from under the luxury tax, or he'll have to trade off some of the Rockets' larger contracts to try get back under the new salary cap, whatever that may be. This is a problem for the Rockets, as though they probably won't trade Harden or Westbrook, they will have to get rid of some of their other main core pieces. Eric Gordon is earning around $14 to $16 million a year, so he'll have to be probably moved, and same goes with guys like Covington potentially and PJ Tucker. To me, at the very least, Eric Gordon will have to be traded this offseason if Tillman wants to keep the team and not sell it. This will be a big issue for Houston as they're losing some main chunks of their core, making their depth weaker and making their team harder to match up with other contending teams for future seasons. And again, with the salary cap getting reduced undeniably, it will make it harder for them to sign top free agents to help build back up the depth they will lose. Overall, this is the ugly truth about the Houston Rockets. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, the NBA salary cap is likely to take a large hit, and due to the Rockets' number of large contracts, a few players will need to be traded in order for them to remain under the luxury tax, as unfortunately for the Rockets owner, if he wants to continue to own the team must remain under the luxury tax. This is due to the pandemic heavily hitting his companies and businesses he owns, so he is already earning a lot less money, and having the Rockets go over the luxury tax would not help any matters. Since these players are being traded, the Rockets' depth will take a massive hit, and it will cost them a lot in the race for a championship. Obviously, every other team is going to be affected by the reduction of the salary cap, but in my opinion, I think the Rockets situation is far worse. Their team already isn't strong aside from their starters, so losing out on a few of their main core guys is going to hurt them a lot in the future. Basically, what I'm trying to point out to you today is that due to the reduction in the salary cap that will happen this offseason, the Rockets are going to suffer a lot. And unfortunately, as much as it pains me to say it as a Rockets fan, they are going to be negatively impacted short and long term. Short term, without some of their core guys like Eric Gordon and potentially others, it's going to be hard for them to keep up with teams like the Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, etc. And long term, once Russ and Harden's contracts are up, their careers will well and truly be on the downturn, so the Rockets will probably look to rebuild. However, the Rockets have traded a lot of their picks to obtain guys like Chris Paul and Westbrook in the past, so it may be a rough few years for them to start off, which is not what they want at all. At the end of the day, I think the financial implications of the coronavirus pandemic are going to majorly affect the Rockets for a long time, and not in a good way unfortunately. It's going to be in a way that may be devastating for the franchise long term in terms of playoff success. Unfortunately, that is the ugly truth about the Houston Rockets. And that will conclude the video. What do you guys think of this? Due to this whole situation, are the Rockets in trouble to you? Let me know all your thoughts on this down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.